Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here with us tonight. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule today. My name is Elena. Thank you so much for being here. I am an interpreter from Tri-Cities.
Hello, everyone. My name is Leanna, and I'm here an interpreter in Tacoma. And like Lena said, thank you all very much for joining us today. It's going to be very informational, and I hope you can stick through the entire show. Thanks.
Hello, everyone. This is Anastasio Lepe, medical interpreter from Yakima. Backed by popular demand, we have brought the live stream for you, bringing you information and a lot of new developments. So sit back, grab some popcorn, and let's get this show on the road.
Hello, everyone. My name is Juan Medina Bloise, and I'm glad that we're having our live stream back. Sit back, like Anastasia said, and enjoy the program that we have for you today. And looks like we were missing one of our team members, Veronica. She's having some connection issues, but she'll join us back in a few. So we were gonna have a segment. If you go to the description box of this video on YouTube or in Facebook, the first segment was gonna be Pastora Hernandez. Barbie, and she was going to have the mental health segment, understanding identities and priorities for personal development, but she had an issue with traveling. Anastasia, can you tell us exactly what happened, please, real quick?
Yes, it seems that she gave us a message earlier that she was traveling out of the country, and I guess she had suffered some delays at some connections in some airports, and she was going to just arrive a bit too late to be able to join us. So she said that she'll be here next time, that she really wanted to participate and let us know what the new programming was, but unfortunately she's not going to be able to be with us this time.
Alrighty, so with that said, what we're going to do right now is we're going to move to the next topic, which is going to be, as you see on the title right there, LNI's latest update about the implementation of their portal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the screen with you guys to share that announcement. And I understand this was actually, this happened on October 30th when LNI sent this, but we still get on a daily basis questions about this and interpreters emailing us what's going on, what's going to happen. We're going to be able to bill independently, what's going on with implementation. So I'm going to read real quick the announcement, and then we're going to give you our reaction and what we know as of the latest developments. So please bear with me, please. Alrighty, can you guys see this?
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for being so patient. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be reading this announcement in a minute. I'm going to hide this so you guys can see better. Thank you so much for your patience. And so the announcement was sent by LNI, as you can see right here, on October 30th at 3:54 p.m. We're not going to read the whole thing, but the main topics of interest for us as interpreters right here. And it says right here, LNI, the Department of Labor and Industries, is in the process of deploying a new online scheduling system. You know this. And then they said right here, this is being done to improve language access for injured workers as mandated by the Washington State Legislature. I made a video not long ago explaining that they were not mandated to do this, but they had options. We'll refer you to that video later with the link provided for you. And then it says right here that to ensure continuity of service to customers, this is what I'm reading, To ensure continuity of service to customers, it is our plan to permit the use of existing agencies and their interpreters for a limited time following the implementation. And this sounds a lot like the dual system we've been telling LNI we need instead of just a scheduling system, but we'll touch on that later a little bit more. And they also mentioned that they got some new team members, okay, to ensure a successful launch. And then they are finally highly encouraging providers and interpreters to continue signing up for the new scheduling system through Interpreting Works. And so you see the email right there if you have any questions for them. I'm going to stop this right here. And what we're going to do right now, I think you saw, most of you, if not a lot of you, saw the video that I made about this. But I want to take this opportunity to have all of our team members, the board members here, to give their reaction to this, because it sounds to me, LNI is admitting that we actually need a dual system. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add Veronica right here. And Anastasia, can you start with us, or ladies first, I should say, sorry about that, Liana, Elena, and Vero, if you want to start giving your reaction to this announcement, please.
I didn't catch which announcement it was for. I was added in just a little bit ago.
Yeah, it's the announcement where LNI is saying that for a limited time, and I know Vera just got in because she had connection issues, where LNI emailed us on October 30th to all interpreters, letting us know that shortly after implementation, they'll still allow agencies and their interpreters to continue working as it is, to ensure continuity of care. So I'm saying that in my video, I explained that sounds a lot like admitting we need a dual system, but we need it permanently. So we want to go around team members right here to give our audience our reaction. Go ahead, if any of you girls want to start.
This is Elena again. I feel like this whole thing, this process, it's not, LNI, it's not ready to make the change yet. So I don't know if it's because of the COVID-19 or what's really happening, but they still like telling us, oh, it's going to be next month. Oh, no, it's going to be until next year. So basically, we don't have clear information right now. So we're just like hoping that things are going to be working well, but we'll see. We don't know exactly what's really going on with LNI and the new agency.
And I kind of think that they're in the same boat. Like Elena said, we're trying to see where it goes. I think they're trying to figure out where it goes because I don't think they have a set plan. They're starting to realize that they do need a dual system.
Thank you.
Yes, I agree as well. I believe that I think that they don't really have all the information that they needed before actually taking this step. And now as everything has been unfolding and they've noticed how an asset interpreters are by helping, when it comes to helping injured workers getting to their appointments, reminding them of such appointments, something that an agency as this hasn't been able to do so. So yeah, I think it's going to be somewhat difficult at this time for them to implement that. And I hope they do realize that they need us as well. And hopefully that we get that.
Looks like we lost Anastasio for a minute there. Anastasio, are you here?
Yes, I'm here, but I don't see myself in the screen. I don't know if you're able to hear me.
We can hear you. In the meantime, while you figure out the webcam issue, can you please give us your reaction to LNI's latest announcement, please?
I wish I could. I mean, I needed my face to give you the whole reaction. I mean, I'm in the dark here, literally. I think that something's up with the amount of cams on at a time. I think that.
No, we're good. We're good with the cams. We can have up to 10 right now. We're good with the cams, but maybe don't use the green screen or chroma key that you had, and try to log in and out real quick. And sorry to the audience, we're as usual going through this platform. It's online, and so we're actually doing the best we can to make sure that we give you everybody participating. So please, Anastasia, go and log out and log in again, please.
Okay.
Thanks,
All
everyone,
right.
for being patient.
Yes. All righty then. Let's see. And we're going to add Anastasia again to the screen. Yeah, it looks like we're not able to see your webcam, Anastasia. I don't know if you're using your cell phone or your webcam from your computer.
The same thing happened earlier when I was already on. I think Veronica wasn't showing up. That's why I'm thinking it's not the cam on our end. It's the program.
Yeah, no, I see the program right here. It looks fine. The settings are good. Everybody's in. Your webcam is added. So let me see. Mic settings, yes. Everything looks good right here on your end. Liana, are we losing you?
No, I think she just did a test to see if I was going to come on.
No, I'm here.
Yeah, okay. Here you are, Anastasia.
So it was on high definition. I guess I'm not allowed to be on high definition. Okay,
Yeah,
so my reaction, let's get back to business. My reaction to the scheduling system not being able to transition, I guess, is what I kind of caught there. And the fact that it actually correlates with our suggestion when we spoke with LNI and the director himself, Joe Sachs, back a couple of months ago, when we suggested that if for some reason or the other, the scheduling system interpreting works did not work out, pardon the pun there, that we were going to be able to continue billing directly and as a recourse or a spare tire, as you can say. And it seems like a dual system is something that we can definitely work with, not just in an emergency, but as a smooth flowing method of operation. I think that this is evidence right here that direct billing has to remain as an not just as a backup, but as a real option moving forward.
Yes, I do agree with you. You know, it seems like, and it's so frustrating sometimes because we've been at this for almost 3 years since February 2018. You know, they had their whole bill, WFSE. And I remember when we were back with them, we were saying, you know, you did not consult LNI interpreters. And so we've been at this, talking to them since we did not bring that law. We were saying, if you're going to do a scheduling system, and that's why I was able with a couple of interpreters to introduce some amendments, you're going to have options and allow the free market to dictate this. But what's really curious about this is that they're now encouraging providers and interpreters to sign up. And the wording on that announcement really was telling. They're saying, we highly encourage you to sign up. So this is something that I want you to give us your reaction, Anastasia, because sounds to me that that announcement and that wording there, you know, it matches up with the reports we've been getting that providers are not willing to sign up, regardless of what you hear out there. Yes, some providers are signing up, but a lot of providers are not willing to sign up with this system and risk quality of care for their patients, as you can see from the interviews that we have provided to you guys. Anastasia, please.
Absolutely. This new system is not something that is being supported by the providers. We did voice this concern to LNI on many occasions. They do not support it. And when I mean providers, I mean all providers. I haven't heard a provider that's looking forward to changing their modus operandi or the way they're used to doing business at all. That and the fact that we ourselves at Washington Interpreters, we don't support a scheduling system only option. We don't support that. We support a dual system, something where, again, we all have options. If you need to or would prefer a scheduling system, you have it. And if you do not want to use a scheduling system, then you bill directly. This is what we've been supporting all along. This gives us less restrictions, more access to work. Personally speaking, I've been working through ULS and previously through CTS, and I can tell you that we are very restricted when it comes to obtaining work via those scheduling systems. I've been working with them for about 6 years, and I never have enough work through those systems. I can go on and on with this same conversation, but I think it needs to be heard once and over again.
Yes, no, definitely. Girls, you want to add anything else? Because I'm thinking if we have people in the audience, we could ask for their reactions because before I say my final piece on this.
Well, we know that by having the option, we're going to be able to cover more jobs. And like I said before, it's not about interpreters. It is, but not all the time. So it's more about the clients. So by having the option of being able to go and not being depending on the neo agency, we know that more jobs are going to be covered. More clients are going to be able to have the service there. Not like going to the clinics and hoping that they might get an interpreter, may not. So that's one of the main things, having the service there.
Yes, and I don't know how else we can really be effective conveying this message to LNI. We have had people sharing with us personal emails they have sent to LNI, to Karen Jost, health services program manager, the person responsible for making the final decision on this implementation, and any other LNI staff. And what people are saying to them, interpreters, providers, is like, look, you can have this dual system. And the same reason, or should I say excuse, that we get from LNI is that they're doing this because of the law, which now we know they had choices, that they have a contract with Interpreting Works, My Language Link, and they have to provide 17,000 jobs a year. And we know that any contract can be voided, actually, especially because we haven't started an implementation. And so there's really no basis to continue with this, especially after admitting that for a limited time, you're going to need agencies and their interpreters to still provide services to ensure continuity of care. And this is what we've been talking about. So we feel right here, and I'm not trying to speak for our board members here, but they'll tell you, we feel that we have been demonized because we have said have a dual system, and they themselves acknowledge they haven't been able to implement it. They have not been able to implement it. And so, Anastasia, can you please explain to the audience that they actually have another deadline? Because September 1st was the first deadline per SB 6245, almost 3 years ago. Now they have a second deadline. Can you please share with the audience what that deadline is? And I'll try to find it here and share the screen with you guys.
Yeah, sure. Before I get into the deadline that they have, now correct me if I'm wrong, it's on January 1st, right? Not December 1st.
It's December 1st.
December 1st. Okay. So yes, LNI has a deadline on December 1st to create a report with all the problems, or as they call them, obstacles and potential problems that they have suffered along the way. Obviously, they're having problems such as this inability to have the transition due to the fact that no one is supporting it. So that's one of the big issues that I assume is going to be on this report given to the legislature. The reason why this report's even an obligation to them is because it was an amendment included in a recent bill that Washington Interpreters was able to given through the conversations that we had with local legislators, they are the ones that included this language in the bill, which stated that LNI has to produce this report in case they had some problems transitioning. What I wanted to say before addressing the deadline that LNI has is, if they had taken actual interpreters, their serious feedback, if they had actually taken them into consideration, providers and injured workers, if they would have had more say in this, maybe they would have understood a lot earlier that no one supported this type of a system. They spoke to stakeholders. That doesn't mean that they were really listening to their concerns. That the fact that they just go up there and show up and say, what do you think about this? That doesn't mean that the people that they're speaking to are interested in these changes that are going to drastically affect their income. I'm an interpreter. I've been interpreting for over 6 years. I know what I can accomplish billing LNI directly, and I know what I can accomplish if I was going through a scheduling system. I said it from the very beginning. I'm going to take about a 40% income pay cut. This is something that LNI either doesn't care, Does it know, or both? So we have to make them see in December at the legislature. We have to bring all this information, not just from interpreters, from providers, and whatever injured workers are out there that are not receiving the highest quality of care. We have to bring this to the attention of the legislators, and make sure that they understand that the remedy is something very, very easy to do. You either follow the law and implement a dual system, or you allow the real stakeholders, okay, to come up with the solutions that will fix this problem.
Yes, definitely. And while we're at it, thank you for that explanation. We're going to share the screen so we show you once again that amendment. I know that we have talked about this ad nauseum, and we have showed you this. We have shown you this in videos, emails, and stuff like that. But it's always good to actually go back to this and read it a little bit, so it's actually fresh in people's minds. And if you could see right here, it's telling you. Let me see if I could enlarge this a little bit. Oh my gosh, I did it. I overdid it. Okay, here. You can see right there, adopted on March 4th, earlier this year. It says by December 1st, 2020, Illinois, and I'm just, saving you some reading right here, okay, must report to the legislature on the following each agency's current process for procuring spoken language interpreter services, and whether the changes laws of 2018 have been implemented. So they have to, by December 1st, submit a report and explain if they have been successful implementing. It says right here, B, if Chapter 53 law 2018 been fully implemented by an agency, then the barriers to implementation the agency has encountered and recommendations for removing the barrier implementation. So they're basically, have to say, well, we encountered these barriers. And that's going to be a very interesting argument, because I personally, I don't want to hear we couldn't do it because of COVID-19. Okay? Because we've been listening and hearing from them that COVID-19 is not an issue. We've seen Mr. Achinelli's videos saying that everything is good to go. We're good to go. This is wonderful. And their platform is supposed to be ready, yet they're struggling to do this. Okay? And then it says, see the impacts of the changes to the bargaining units for language access providers. How is this going to affect with having our own union? And then recommendations on how to improve the procurement and accessibility to or of language access providers. And so to me, it's really simple. If I am labor and industries, and I understand there's a lot of politics involved into this, it's a really simple solution to me. You know what the solution is? First of all, SB 6245 did not mandate LNI to implement just a scheduling system. They had the option to do a dual system or leave everything as it is, which is actually working very fine, okay? So they still have a choice to allow us independent interpreters, agencies, and the scheduling system to all work together and let providers choose the service that works best for them. If they want to use at any specific time the scheduling system, boom, there it is for those interpreters that don't have any way of getting work or don't like paperwork or whatever, scheduling system. Or if they want to call an agency they use, boom, there you go. They have connections with the agencies. And if they want to call an independent interpreter, such as ourselves right here, this board, and most of you, majority of interpreters, then let the market, let the provider dictate that. But in my opinion, and this is not, casting any stones on LNI, but in my opinion, LNI is not listening, should I say, to the will of the people, what we all have told LNI. And before we move on, they say also, well, we had focus groups. We met with providers. We met with interpreters. We met with patients. And after that, we decided this is what we're going to do. Yes, I remember those focus groups. And I remember not seeing a lot of interpreters or a lot of providers. And I'm not present. I wasn't present when they met with patients. But what I hear from the few interpreters and agencies that showed up was like, we don't want the scheduling system. And if you do, allow us to still do what we do right now. what we heard from the few providers that attended is, we don't want this. Of course, there is a handful of providers that agree with that, but the vast majority of providers have said no. And this is very telling. You guys?
If I could just jump in quick, to add something to
Go ahead, please.
Juan. Yes. I don't think I've ever met an LNI interpreter. And how I use that phrase, there's a clear distinction. I don't think I've ever met an LNI interpreter who ever mentioned wanting or supporting this bill that was being lobbied from 6 to 7 years. Now, if we backtrack a little, what is the origins of this bill? Where did it come from? It came exclusively from the leaders of Local 1671. They are the ones that created that initial bill. It took them years to pass it. But if they're the ones that really supported that bill, basically they convinced the legislature that was a good move, and then LNI had to follow the law and try to comply with it. But in essence, the real LNI interpreters never even knew about it. WFSE's or Local 1671 members never really knew about that bill either. The only thing they were told is that they were trying to get more work for them at the expense of unknowingly LNI interpreters.
That's true. That's true. We have 5 more minutes for this segment, and I want to take an opportunity and read and show you some of the comments that we've been getting from Facebook. I linked this live stream to my personal private Facebook group for LNI interpreters. So first of all, I want to say, if you don't see your name right here, it says Facebook user, it's because you have to allow StreamYard and give them permission to your personal profile. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. You could comment as an anonymous person. But I want to say thank you, Angel Mercado. Thank you for joining us, Carla, and all of you guys commenting. So I'm going to show you some of these comments so we actually, show you what people are reacting, how they're reacting to this. So there's a Facebook user right here, and this person says, sí, lo estoy viendo, pero me había dicho que tú y yo estaríamos allí, no necesitaríamos un link para unirnos a la conversación. So that person needs a link to join. It says right here, saludos, queridos colegas. Hello, beloved colleagues. So proud of you all. Thank you for all the hard work you're doing on behalf of all of us. Well, I want to say thank you actually for supporting what we do. We take your encouragement and even criticism to heart because we want to do better for all of you guys. Then we have Angel Mercado. Hello, everyone. Thanks for sharing the time to put this stream on. And thank you, Angel, for noticing that and noticing what we're doing right here. And I don't want to talk too much about this, but we do make personal sacrifices. And we're going to touch on that later. And Anastasia's got something for you. But we do make personal sacrifices. Everyone that you see right here, okay, from our board, we have families. We have things to do. We have work. We have other responsibilities. LNI billing, ULS billing. We have a lot of things going on, but we make sacrifices. We use our own resources and money to fund this, contrary to what a lot of people think. And then we see here, saludos, Carla Lopez, thank you for joining us. And then there is a Facebook user sharing this comment on Facebook. This person says, most providers had no idea this was even happening. And when I asked the question, are you ready for the change? Yes, you'll have a different interpreter each time when your patients come in. The ones I asked said no. What? How come I didn't know this? This can't be happening. Nobody has told us anything about this. Why? Is this something, is there anything we have to do? I think that's what they meant to say. And all I could say was, yes, it's happening any moment now. They don't really have a set day, but coming soon. And I don't know if you girls or Anastasia want to touch on this. This is what we've been talking about. They didn't meet the first deadline, September 1st. Then, we're going to do it probably sometime in the fall. October came, nothing. November 1st, nothing. Then we get an email that says, yeah, we got some new people to work on a timeline of implementation. And even after implementation, we're going to need the agencies and their interpreters to ensure continuity of care. And you know me, I may be a character, but I'm like, really? Isn't that what we've been telling you all along? But I digress. Go ahead, you guys.
Yeah, I agree, Juan. You're right. That has been happening a lot. And also, one of the things that LNI and that agency has failed to say or to even let providers know is that many times, even through like a work conditioning, they could potentially send one person for each hour of that work conditioning. And that's what a lot of providers aren't aware of, because they're not used to having different interpreters for the same patient in the same date. So that's another thing, that among many other things that they have not been clear on or just upfront with. So we really don't know what we're gonna be getting until it actually gets here. But this is why we want to prevent it. We want to be ready and just have the dual system.
So it is 8:15. So what we're going to do right here is we're going to jump to the next segment of our broadcast right here. And it's going to be, let me see right here, reactions to our recent video exposing WFSE and their use of members' dues money.
Juan,
Anastasia, go ahead.
Well, first of all, Liana brought up an excellent point there with the amount of interpreters that could potentially come into one facility in particular. I want to add another thing to that. How about this COVID situation that we're living in right now? And then all of a sudden you have this incredible increase of interpreters in one location. How is that going to benefit the patient, the quality of care? You're putting that patient at risk. You're increasing his risk of getting sick by exposing so many people instead of, what we do now. It's just something that's very important that doesn't even come to their, to their attention, because they don't think about these things. They're not interpreters.
They're not interpreters. Exactly. That's another huge issue there. So right now, I want to say, you guys do remember the video that I published more than a week ago. And so what I'm going to do is this. I'm not going to go and talk about the video anymore. We're going to give you our reaction. But this is the result of calling out people and telling them they're liars. When you get exposed, this is what happens. So I'm going to show you exactly what's going on. Hold on. I'm going to share the screen and exit this solo layout. I'm just having fun with these features right now. It's awesome. Isn't it, guys? All right. So let me share with you this in a minute. I'm going to share the screen. Thank you for being patient with us.
Juan, I just had somebody send me a text message asking if they write on the Facebook group comments, will we be able to see those? So for those who are wondering, yes, if you guys have questions and write on the Facebook comments, we will be able to see those and reply to them.
Thank you, Vero. Thank you. So this is what's going on. I'm going to show you in a minute. Okay, let me see. I could show you this separate. So all righty. Thank you for hanging in there with me. Okay. All righty. This is the video right here. Can you guys see it?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. If you guys can see it, I'm going to show you exactly what's been happening. Look, we have just been sharing this video on our social media, YouTube, Facebook. Look at the amount of views that we have gotten since November 10th. Okay, there you go, 9,797 views. 308 people loved or liked this video and only one dislike. Was that Milena or Leroy? I don't know. Sorry, I had to do it. But and then we gained 841 subscribers. At one point, we had more than 1,000. And of course, this amount fluctuates. And this is no casting any stones on anybody or, showing off or calling a victory or whatever. But this is just mainly showing you how people are interested in this and they don't agree with this. You want me to show you how they don't agree with this? Look at their first video when they were criticizing us. Look. This is the most amount of views they've gotten because of the light that we gave to their video. And look at, they have 56 subscribers and 201 likes. What is this?
We're not able to see that. We're able to, I think the screen froze. We're still on the Washington Interpreters.
Okay.
We can't even react and say, wow, that's ridiculous.
Oh, no, that's fine. Because I'm going to show it to you right now. It's really... really right here. Sorry. There you go. I'm going to show it to you right now. And there it is. Can you guys see it now?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Look at this. 838 views because of the exposure that we gave to that video. Just by pointing out, they called me a liar, right? They called us liars. Look at 201 dislikes. Only 56 subscribers. What do you have to say about that, Anastasio, and you guys, girls?
Well, if I could just quickly jump in there. This kind of jogs my memory here when we were running for president and vice president, when we were still members of that union. The things that we were trying to improve while we were there, Juan, remember? We were trying to enact these evil policies called term limits.
Yes.
Right? I was a bad guy because I wanted to enact term limits. I did not want a president in the future to stay there for another decade. Yes, you heard right. 10 years. The same guy was there for 10 years. I came in there and I said, how about we, change the terms to like every 3 years? I mean, that's not bad, right? Well, of course, I had to be labeled a bad guy for that. The other policy that we all supported was to create new leaders, to produce new leaders coming in, new members, and wanting to participate in the process, to want to be a district chair or a president or a secretary, something that was not promoted or supported while we were there. These are the reasons why we opted out. We didn't opt out of there because we were sore losers, as we got accused of. We were not bad people because we ran for president trying to enact some positive changes. We were trying to, we saw something that wasn't being done right, and we wanted to do something about it. This is why we come over here now, create our own movement from scratch, and we plan on being transparent. Something that we did not have there. We didn't have any transparency. We didn't have an elections committee that had any checks and balances. We did not have a process that represented the actual members. It was something that was protecting the leaders, for the leaders, and only for the leaders. As you see now, we have disclosed a lot of information that looks like a lot of conflicts of interest, which I personally brought up. While I was there, I told them that when our union gets involved with outside companies and we're making these agreements with them, that there was a lot of room for a potential conflict of interest. Then they labeled me as a divisive person and so forth and so on. But we're here. We're standing for transparency, for honesty, and for defending the interpreter. We don't have agencies. We have nothing against them, as I always say, but we don't have a stake in who gets the contract or nothing. We just want what's best for the interpreters.
Yes. All right. It looks like Veronica, you wanted to say something. Go ahead, please.
As you already know, I have prego brain, and if I don't write it down, I forget. I did want to say that when anything was promoted by WFSE, when we were WFSE members, if it was promoted, nobody ever supported you so that you could have a team or someone behind you to help you get there. It was more like, all right, this is what I don't like. And it was more like a complaint that you gave to them. And then you would be told, well, then become a leader. But when you wanted to become a leader or become somebody that would be able to help within WFSE, you didn't have the support from anyone. Earlier when Anastasio was saying that this whole LNI thing was implemented by WFSE leaders, But one thing that I think we forgot to mention that should have been mentioned that maybe people don't know is that most WFSE leaders don't do LNI jobs. They're interpreters, some of them, not the president, not the ex-president that they used to have. He was an interpreter for a while, but towards the end he was no longer interpreting. And that's one of the things that I think we should always emphasize on, because how are you going to be leading someone when you don't take, how is what I'm trying to say, like when whatever you decide is not going to affect you.
Exactly. That's something that we have been talking about ad nauseum. You can't really relate if you don't do the job that we do. We understand that most unions, traditionally they have organizers, and that's their job. They have experience organizing workers from old fields, but they have to listen to the actual workers to know what they want. But when you have a union, and this is the problem with traditional unions right now. This is why we're independent. When you have AFL-CIO and all these unions under the umbrella, having these organizers telling the worker what they think they need, now that's a real problem. When you do not ask the worker, hey, Anastasia, hey, Vero, Liana, you guys, LNI interpreters, we don't do LNI interpretation, but guess what? We have this bright idea. Can you help us understand how we can help you? That should be the right way, right? But no. Their attitude is, we actually know what's best for you. That's why we use your dues and not tell you that we have a private secret fund, even though it's public information. We're going to hide it from you because we don't think you're smart enough to find out. Right? And guess what? We're going to pass this law because we think a scheduling system is best for you. And don't complain about it because we know what's for you. Congratulations. How's that working for you? It's not working out very good, is it? This is what happens when you do not listen to the will of the people. Go ahead.
And then the other thing is that WFSE has said that it was decided by most of their members. Well, the one thing that they never mentioned, because they only mentioned the bits and pieces that are of convenience for them, is that the majority of Local 1671 members didn't do LNI jobs. Most of them work state appointments. So if you're telling them, yes, you're going to get more appointments this way, of course they're going to agree with it. But where are the LNI interpreters?
Yes, go ahead, Anastasia, please.
Oh yeah, they're all very relevant points that we're bringing up here. The fact that no one addresses that term limits are still not available at that union is something very fishy. I mean, how can you not have term limits in a local or in a union or in any institution where somebody can just be there forever? That's something that maybe a lot of our supporters are going to be seeing also in our bylaws. We've already shared that we will not be acting like those big unions where we spend money that we don't have or money that we shouldn't spend on all these political causes. I think that if they focused more on looking out for their interpreters instead of looking out for their own pockets and what politician benefits them the most, I think they'll be in better shape. I think people are sick and tired of them already, to tell you the truth, because while we were there, they were tired of them because they didn't produce good results. I'm pretty sure now that things are going so badly for them, I'm pretty sure people are just fed up. And I say that because we plan on doing things a lot differently. Winning this election, our bylaws are going to be completely black and white, not going to be compared anything to what they have done or are doing. We plan on not being involved in all these politics. We want to be involved in what concerns the immediate interpreter. We want to benefit them. We want to look out for them, look ahead even, something that they do not do.
Thank you. Alrighty, we have a heart out right now. I'm going to jump into the next segment right here. And what we're going to do right now is we have a special guest. And she is Jael Comack from the Guild of Pacific Northwest Employees. And Jael is right here with us. Thank you so much for being with us. I'm going to have the layout. Sorry, just playing with this. And thank you, Jail, for having time with us. If you remember Jail, she came with Dean back in July. She is from the Guild of Pacific Northwest Employees. She is the president of their local union right now and full-time organizer for them. She's going to share with us how being an independent union and defeating WFSE was a possibility for them. And she's going to give you updates on their contract negotiations. Thank you, Jail. Thank you so much for this. Time is yours.
Well, thanks for having me, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, you're good. You look great.
Okay.
Thanks.
We can.
So I just wanted to start out by saying that I'm here speaking as an individual. I'm not speaking on behalf of any organization, but I just want to share with you and your audience the latest developments that we've achieved as they're seen through my eyes, and just offer you some encouraging words to stay on the path and keep on doing what you're doing. I also want to say I'm just so impressed with all of you as board members. What you're doing isn't easy. It's not easy to fight against a large organization with unlimited funds, whose basically only job is to attack you right now. It's not fun to be to bear the brunt of that. I have personal experience with that, and it's just not easy. So, but you must be doing something right, or they wouldn't be attacking you. I didn't have a video made about me, so you can chalk that up in the win column as far as I'm concerned. Just keep the faith, keep doing what you're doing, and obviously you're a threat to them, and so they're going to keep unleashing these attacks on you, but just stay on the path. I wanted to give you a little bit of an update on what the Guild of Pacific Northwest Employees has been doing. We've had several major accomplishments since we last spoke, and the biggest one, in my view, is that we did secure a contract for Bellingham Local 1937, which is our only bargaining unit so far. We have about 400 members, and despite everything that Council 2 and AFSCME International has said about us and done to us, it wasn't true, and we went ahead and were able to secure a contract. I did make a few notes. I hope you don't mind me looking away occasionally to make sure I don't forget anything.
You're fine.
So the contract is effective November 1st, 2020. So this is very recent news. Our membership turnout for as far as voters was about 75%. And I always would love 100%, but we are in the middle of a pandemic. And so I'm really grateful for the amount of our members who took the time to come and vote in person. As you might recall, if you're following our Facebook page or website, Council 2 spread many lies about us. They said that the city wouldn't work with us, which of course would be illegal because it's a state law. The city doesn't get to choose who the representative of our members are. Council 2 also said incorrectly that our members would not receive any money for the time that they spent without a contract. So that is also incorrect. We were able to secure an approximately $1,000 signing bonus for all of our full-time members. Also, they just basically said we were going to fail. And of course that was, and we wouldn't get a contract. And of course that is completely false. And yet here we are talking to your audience about accomplishing all of those things. So the contract is being routed for employer signatures right now, but it was ratified by the City Council, and that'll be up on the City of Bellingham website shortly, where you can read it, Council 2 can read it, AFSCME International can read it, and yeah, if they want to check it out, it's there. It's at COB, like cityofbellingham.org/labor. Is there any questions about that I can answer?
No,
It's
but
pretty
congratulations.
straightforward.
No, but congratulations are in order. Definitely, we want to be in those shoes soon.
Thank you. Thank you. You will be. You will be. We also, some more news is we also had to unfortunately file 2 unfair labor practices with PERC. I say unfortunately because we would always rather sit down and talk about the situation and, you know, not have to go to that length to have people, you know, talk with us and settle things at the lowest level possible. But in these 2 cases, that just wasn't possible. So I wanted to just tell you a little bit about what those ULPs were about. The first ULP concerned interference by the city of Bellingham, human resources. So basically what happened was PERC certified us at the Guild as the exclusive representative of the bargaining unit on May 21st. And Juan has that up on the screen. That's a real key date. But the city decided that it was too administratively burdensome to stop collecting for our old representative and start collecting for the new one. And we objected to that. We tried to talk with the city, our attorneys, talk with their attorneys, etc., and they just wouldn't listen. And we believe that the law is pretty clear. RCW 41.56 talks all about the collective bargaining laws. It outlines exactly when an employer shall, the word shall, stop dues. It's upon revocation of a revocation of the card and a new representative being certified. So we believed that it was very clear. At that time, we had only collected 75% of our members' cards. And so, but the city still collected and remitted dues for that time period from May 1st to May 30th. It doesn't seem like a long time, but it was to us, and the law is the law. So right out of the gate, the Guild had to go to bat for our members, and honestly, also the people who weren't our members yet, because we felt strongly about defending their rights. Now, the decision was already, if you go back to that website, Juan, if you go to perc.wa.gov, the top right-hand corner, there is a button called Decisions. And if you're new to interacting with PERC, this can be a great resource for you. You can read all the recently issued decisions by PERC, and you can learn a ton. So that is where you will find the decision that PERC made, which was in our favor. We were confident that it would be, but it was quite a relief to get that. Juan, did you want to go to that decision, and we can scroll to the bottom and read what the city now has to do to rectify the situation?
Yeah, definitely. Just keep on talking. I'm going to find the decision and share it with everyone. Thanks.
Okay, it should be top right. There's a blue word that says decisions.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, a lot of the decisions that you'll see posted there are certification decisions or certifications. This is where a bargaining unit will pick a new representative.
Sorry, I'm here. So you want me to share the City of Bellingham decision from November 5th this year?
Yes. I can't see any of you guys because I'm in a single screen. So if you want to.
Okay, I'm going to share the screen right now, so you guys see it.
Cool.
And we have it right here.
So if you open up the decision, or actually, this is a long decision. These type of decisions set precedents for other bargaining units around the state. So it's really important that, it can be a really good resource for you guys to look at. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, the very last page.
Okay.
On the right, the slider bar.
Okay. All the way to the bottom?
Yep, all the way to the bottom. Oh, wait, maybe a teeny bit too far. There you go.
Teeny bit too far? Where? Here?
Okay, so, keep going. Okay, so here's the decision. Oops, you have to go up a little bit more.
Okay, I'm going to go really slowly.
Just a little bit. See, you're on
Conclusions of law, right there?
right there. So this is the order. So conclusions of law, the PERC did find that the city interfered with our rights as public employees. And then under order, if you just, there you go. And so the city shall cease and desist from remitting any and all dues collected from us as employees for anyone other than the certified exclusive bargaining representative, which is the guild. And they will not engage in any other interference activity. And then the actions they need to take under number 2 is they have to make all employees whole. They have to transmit to the guild. The city has to transmit to the guild all the dues that they collected from May 21st to the 31st. And then they have to contact the PERC compliance officer and post a notice in all 22 work sites around our city. And they're going to have to take reasonable steps to make sure that the notices stay up. They also have to read the notice and the decision into the minutes of the upcoming city council meeting. So it's part of the official record. And then they're going to notify us within 20 days following the date of the order as to what steps they are taking to comply. And so it is the 17th today. The decision was on the 5th, so they have a few more days to submit that. And so anyway, that is the decision. And we've seen in other cases where PERC will use prior decisions and all their citations to set precedents for other bargaining units. So we are very pleased that we prevailed. We expected to prevail, but we're pleased that we did. And now I want to talk about the next ULP that we filed. So this one was against Council 2, our previous, our bargaining unit's previous exclusive representative. I can't say a lot about it because the decision hasn't been issued yet, and the PERC examiner in charge of the hearing stated that we could not talk about our testimony, so I want to honor that. However, I can tell you that the general reason we filed it was because after we were certified, the Council 2, AFSCME Council 2, contacted a number of our members offering to represent them at disciplinary hearings. And the president of Council 2, Chris Dugovich, also sent a memo to almost all of our members here in Bellingham, promising that they could represent them in upcoming issues with the city, and that they would still qualify for exclusive AFSCME only benefits. It was a shocking memo to say the least, and so we did file an interference complaint against Council 2 with PERC as well. Of course, Council 2 likes to make things as difficult as possible, so instead of doing what the city of Bellingham did and just issue a statement of facts, they decided to have a complete hearing and call witnesses and just do the whole circus that Council 2 usually does. So the process is in motion, and we hope to be getting a decision soon. The interesting thing about the memo that was sent, and I think we touched briefly on this last time I spoke, but AFSCME International President Lee Saunders firmly rejected this memo. I personally sent it to him to say, hey, look at what your affiliate in Washington State is doing to the labor movement, undermining the entire core belief of labor here in Washington, which is exclusive representation. And he responded by sending a letter to Chris Dugovich, which you will find on our website, he rejected the memo as false. He encouraged Mr. Dugovich to retract it, which he did not. And then, of course, President Saunders, even though he doesn't know me one bit or what my motivations are, said that I was self-serving by organizing for the Guild. So this is their game. This is what they do.
So, yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but something caught my attention there. And this is something that we have been hearing a lot from them. So Lee Saunders called you self-serving. And you'll continue with your dialogue here, but it's so interesting because this is their mantra. When you do not agree with the council, WFSE, AFL-CIO, the whole gang, oh, you're selfish. You are privileged because you want to work for a living. We're the privileged few. So they're calling you self-serving. And this is, hitting our hearts right here. It's like, yeah, this is what they do. And this is, one of the reasons why we wanted you to share this testimony with everyone, the audience. It's not something new. This is what they do. Keep on, please.
I got a quick question. I missed a portion of what you were saying. Who was this person? I don't think I can pronounce his name correctly. Blagojevich or something like that?
Oh, Chris Dugovich.
Well, Dugovich. There you go.
Yes, Chris Dugovich.
He keeps coming up. But what is this? What is he? How does he come into all this?
He is the elected president of Council 2. Juan.
You okay, Juan?
Is it?
I'm fine. I don't want to interrupt with my big.
I don't know. That's the only thing that came to mind. I don't know.
Anyway, everyone's gonna Google that now. Have fun. But anyway, he is the elected president of Council 2. There are 2 affiliates of AFSCME in Washington State. One is Council 28. One is Council 2. And Chris, I believe, he's probably going to watch this and probably going to do something because I'm saying the wrong word, the wrong term. But when you're talking about term limits, he immediately came to mind. I think he's been the president for like 25 years or something like that. It's his own little kingdom. And he is paid $400,000 plus a year of members' dues. These people are being paid to attack you. Okay, you're interpreters. That's your job. I'm a GIS specialist. That's my job. But in our off time, we're making all these family sacrifices, sacrificing our time, our money, because this is important. It's important to question what is happening, and they don't like it one bit. So anyway, to continue on, because I know we're on a bit of a time crunch, is this is what they do. If you question what is happening and try to speak truth to power, they are going to attack you. So expect it. Expect more attacks. They are coming. Now, on the flip side of this memo, a member of AFSCME found this letter on our website, this memo that Chris Dugovich wrote, and he filed internal judicial panel charges against President Dugovich for basically undermining the core tenets of the union effort in Washington State. And of course, Dugovich was found not guilty because that wouldn't be in AFSCME International's interest to find him guilty or hold him accountable. But the man in charge of this hearing miraculously found another charge that he was found guilty of. And so the decision, according to rumor, is that he was told to retract the memo, which he has not done. And he was also told never to do it again. And I'm not going to hold my breath on that. I was a witness in that hearing, and I was lied about again. The the judicial panel chairperson of the AFSCME International, this man named Rich Abelson, said on the record that I stole $12,000 from our local, which is completely false, and he knows it's false. But this is how they try to spread doubt and sow doubt with people listening or watching this proceeding. And this is what Ask Me Leadership does, and this is what they encourage their state affiliate to do, is to attack you as much as possible to try to get you to stop speaking up. It's not about the labor movement. It's about losing members' money, and that's pretty much all it's about. Do you have any questions about that, anybody?
Go ahead, you guys.
I can't see any of you. I'm on a single screen. So, there we go. I do want to just say a word about who this man is that's running these judicial panel hearings for AFSCME International. His name the head of the judicial panel process for AFSCME, his name is Rich Abelson. And he's the judicial panel chairperson. On the panel, there's a number of other members as well. They're usually council presidents from around the nation, and he is the chairperson. He makes about $250,000 a year, and he came from Council 48 in Milwaukee. And my understanding is that under his watch, the governor of Wisconsin, Scott Walker, which I'm sure you'll recall his name, under his watch, the labor movement was completely destroyed in Wisconsin. And in the middle of the fight, Abelson leaves to take this cushy job with AFSCME International. And so what does this panel do? They oversee internal disputes within AFSCME. And I'm sure there's a number of great people on this board. I haven't met any yet. I've only had interactions with Mr. Abelson and Ms. McKenna from Los Angeles. The decision she made in a case was eventually overturned by Lee Saunders himself because it was just flat incorrect. So she had to recant it. The whole process is completely dysfunctional. You see, what we're familiar with as citizens is at a court, an actual court, where there's rules of law, there's rules of evidence. You can't lie. You have to submit actual evidence that wrongdoing has occurred. But in this AFSCME judicial panel process, which we call the kangaroo court, there are no rules. Rich Abelson is judge, jury, and executioner. And if he doesn't like you, or if you're against anything, or ask questions about anything, you are immediately guilty. There's no deadlines. There's no rules for the accused. Instead, I witnessed temper tantrums, fist pounding, yelling, name calling. It's not a good look for any organization, and it's pretty you would be shocked if you were to observe one, but you won't be, because only members are allowed, and even then, the accused can ask for a closed hearing. So then it's secret. Nobody can know what's been said or done, because there would be outrage if people actually knew what happens in these proceedings. So I think that with Abelson at the helm, he's going to single-handedly destroy the labor movement by doing these kinds of, by holding these kinds of hearings and doing this kind of intimidation. So if you want to read all about the proceeding and me calling him out on all of his bad behavior and failure to follow any kind of rules, you can read that at our website, which is pnwe.org. You can click on the red media button, and you will see the appeals that we wrote and all the documents and the proof, which of course they don't care anything about, but there are many people who have contacted me that said it's been super helpful. So that is about Richard. Yes, Anastasia.
Joe, if I can share something with you, because things just develop in very mysterious ways out in this union, AFSCME and WFSE.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that you're able to see that there.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
You see what it says there underneath? Election protests?
Yes.
Local 1671?
Yes.
Okay.
Keep on showing it, please.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So December 3rd, 2019. Yes. Okay. Good morning. Okay. This is the case that we. Yes, go ahead, Juan. Go ahead.
Good morning. This is the case that we initially filed with you prematurely. Brother Anastasio Lepe did not accept the election committee's report, and the local did not weigh in formally. Are you able to use what was sent previously, or do you need more information from us?
So the reason why I'm bringing this to the attention of everybody here is just to let them know that we've dealt with these individuals before. Okay, we know what it feels like to go and have to deal with them, and they didn't care. They were very indifferent. They called you brother on paper, but they treat you like a stepchild when you turn your back. So they didn't care about our complaint. They didn't care about the process. They turned their backs on us, and that's another reason why we're no longer there. We went to every step. We took our complaints. We followed the process. We everything you could think of. We weren't anything close to being sore losers. We wanted the truth. We wanted for the process to work out itself, but we never even got to it. Like you said, they meet behind closed doors, and they never give you an opportunity. So yeah, it's very interesting that you bring this person up, and that we had already some dealings with him, and hopefully we don't have to be dealing with them ever again.
Exactly.
I'm not surprised. It's time for him to go, and hopefully there are calmer heads will prevail. Cooler heads will prevail, and the judicial panel will see the value of truly representing the members who have elected them. They don't do that right now. And so there needs to be a change in leadership, or we won't be back ever until we see real change. So going on to the next matter, this was the way that AFSCME and Council 2 have used members' money to take me personally and our local to court. I did mention this a little bit in the previous video, but just to bring anyone up to speed.
1 minute, Jail. Just sorry to interrupt you. You have 1 more minute. We're past the time right here, but just 1 more minute for that topic. And sorry about guys. Go ahead.
Okay, that's okay. It's just a brief update.
Yes.
They decided to spend members' money on filing a baseless lawsuit in San Juan Court. And I represented myself pro se, and we did prevail. What is interesting to me is I found out that the Council 2 high-priced lawyer named Mr. Younglove, he is also Council 28's attorney. And so these people have no problem spending members' money on baseless lawsuits and just a complete waste of money. So we ended up prevailing there as well.
And I want to add something to what you just said as well. Sorry that I'm monopolizing here.
No,
the whole Brady Bunch. So yeah, they have enough money to burn for lawsuits, high-end attorneys, and for politicians. But when it comes down for the interpreter, they're stuck at home with restricted to work or no work at all. This is what they do with their dues. I just wanted to make that comparison or that contrast.
That's right.
And we only got a how many cent raise this year?
12 pennies.
That's right.
That's awful. Okay, so I have been asked the question if the guild will ever represent anyone else. We only have one bargaining unit right now. I have been asked that question, and oh, that's a nice comment.
We're going to read it right now, if you don't mind, from a Facebook user for Jail. It says, Jail, the world needs more people like you. You are very intelligent and brave woman. It takes someone with real integrity and courage to call out unethical and awful people like that. Great job for standing for yourself and for what's right. And I second that emotion.
We all second it, I think. We all speak first.
You're all doing this. It is not easy to do what you're doing. So the people in the audience, you really need to support these people who are volunteering their time to ask these questions and to not be intimidated, because it is difficult. It is not easy. So just quickly, we have been asked, will the guild represent any other bargaining units in Washington State? And the answer is probably. About 7 organizations who are currently represented by Council 2 have already reached out to us. Also, interestingly, out of the 22-person state executive board, 2 of those board members have personally reached out to me. They are terrified. They see the problems, but there's really nowhere to go. And that's the problem we had with the AFL-CIO and all of these non-compete agreements in place. There is literally nowhere for these bargaining units to go. And that's part of the problem with AFSCME. Spend more time keeping the members that you have and adequately representing them, instead of spending money on time attacking the people who feel that leaving is their only option. So, these people are outnumbered. Even the executives on the board who are sitting in these meetings, knowing that what is happening is wrong, they are actually making the first steps to reach out.
Yes.
And so anyway, just in closing, I just wanted to say that I do watch all of your videos.
Thank you.
And I know how it feels to be attacked and demonized, but I also know how good it feels when it almost emboldens me in a way, because it is so wrong and so unjust that I don't know if AFSCME has figured out yet that when they do that, I respond. Our people up here in Bellingham respond with even more effort. And so that's what you guys need to do. You need to keep on the path. You're doing something right, or they wouldn't be wasting their time attacking you. So just keep telling the truth and having integrity, and hopefully your audience stands behind you and helps support you in as many ways as they can. So I think you guys are doing an awesome job. And as normal, I'm always available to help if you want to brainstorm or think of things in ways that we can help you. We're happy to do that.
Well, we're very happy that you guys have been always very willing to help, and available. And thank you so much for joining us tonight, Jael. It's a wealth of knowledge and encouragement, just to hear what you guys have been going through, and then your victories. And the sweet contract ratification, the unfair labor practices ruled in your favor, and just showing how much determination and courage will get you, how far it will get you, and so how our paths have intertwined, and we see a lot of similarities in our journeys, both of our journeys. So thank you so much for being with us.
You're welcome. Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Thank you. Thank you.
All righty. So it's 9 o'clock, 9:02 actually, and we actually started a couple of minutes late. But what I want to do is we're going to go to the last segment, which is not really a long segment. It's going to be real quick right now. And we're going to talk about the election process. And I'm going to make myself a little big here for a minute. You all know, you've seen the videos, we are in the election process. And so PERC, it's already received what they have, what they need. And so right now, the reason why we're still asking, and I'm going to let Anastasio and the girls chime in on this, we're still asking for cards is because we have to absolutely, overkill this. As you can see from Jael's testimony, AFSCME, we'll see they have a lot of money, resources, lawyers, and they don't care. They do not hesitate to spend their members' dues to fight their members, especially us that we opted out. So they're going to fight this to the end, and we do not underestimate them, okay? They may be, maybe some people think they're defeated. If you're not talking, please mute your microphone. Maybe some people think they're defeated. Maybe some people think, they're done. They're not done. Of course, we're actually bringing all of this to you, and we are at the forefront, and we have been the first union to start the election process, but we still need those cards because Besides the 30%, there is a single issue with this law. It allows more interpreters that take a job after January 1st, 2019 to still be eligible for the election. And at some point, PERC is going to cap that number, but we still need cards to add to the lead that we already have. And if you have any questions, after Anastasio talks, here's the time. We're going to be ending soon. And after Anastasio and the rest of the board here chimes in, we're going to stay with you for a few more minutes to answer any questions you may have any. Anastasio, go ahead, please.
Yeah, Juan, you put it very eloquently there. It's hard to follow up on that. Well, I just want to tell our listeners, our supporters, our people that are still on the fence, because I understand why there's still many people that are undecided or that are supporting other groups out there. I completely can relate with you. I've been all over the place myself, so I'm not going to criticize you. But what I am going to ask you is for your support, because we are the first labor organization attempting to represent interpreters that have filed or called the election already. We're ready to go. We're in the ring, and we're waiting for everybody to come in, and we are asking for your support so that we could win this battle, this fight. This fight is for you. It's true. There's millions of dollars that WFSE or other unions are spending against us, against interpreters such as yourselves. I don't happen to own an agency. None of my colleagues here own agencies. We don't have anything against agencies. We would like to legally represent all stakeholders, including them as well. But there's a lot of pressure. A lot of people do not want us to win. We are a grassroots movement. We're built from the ground up, transparent. We're trying to provide everyone what was never provided to us when we were there: transparency, honesty, hard work, and we believe in this cause. So take that in consideration when you want to decide what movement to support. We've been here. We have an established track record. We've done everything that's been within our power during a pandemic to bring you free webinars, to bring you free information, resources for unemployment, mental health help with our friend Pastora. We've been trying to address every potential situation that arises during this very difficult time. At the same time, I would like to also share that it hasn't been all roses. It hasn't been all, easy. We've had our bumps in the road. Every organization has its difficulties from now and then. But the other is that our board members here have been attacked personally. There's people here that they've inquired of their personal lives. They've made phone calls. They've threats. They've even banned some of us from some clinics. So
That's
you
right.
don't hear about this. You don't hear about this stuff because it's stuff that we don't want to be promoting and sharing, because we feel like if we did, we'd probably get even more of it, right? But we want everybody to know that we're not just spending or investing our time here representing, advocating for you. We are risking a lot. We're risking everything, but we will do it over and over again. There is no retreat. There's no surrender. There's only one direction, and that's forward.
Thank you. One thing that I want to add before I ask Vero, Elena, and Liana to chime in on this is that one thing that I want to say is, I have been asked, and we have been emailed to our union email. I have been asked privately through text messages, emails, and stuff like that. And that's something that we're going to do in another video or podcast, but I want to touch it and just introduce this thought to you. A lot of people, have been telling us, hey, we hear rumors that you guys are being financed by WFSE. Which is really, I'm flabbergasted. I'm like, what? Okay. So, everything that we're doing right here, it's made through sacrifices, personal sacrifices. We don't have private donors. We don't have a big union, AFL-CIO, WFSE, any other independent union helping us. Everything is coming from our pockets. If you receive the email notifications for a live stream, for a video, for a podcast, you see that I'm the one usually sending it after we have a board and we decide what's going to be in that communication. But guess what? You get this at 2, 3, 4 in the morning, because we all have a life. We make sacrifices, and we make extra time to do this for you, for all of us, for ourselves, for our profession. And I just want to make that clear, because we will address those rumors, at the appropriate time through a video or podcast again, but we're not going to be addressing this all the time. It's really simple. We are not supported by anybody. And if Vero, Liana and Elena could chime in on that, can you please, Vero, start telling the audience, how is it that we fund ourselves? What is it that we do? Go ahead, Vero, please.
I just want to say that if we had money that like WFSE Local 1671 has to throw away, we would probably have somebody who could do most of the work that we do, the work that we don't go to sleep early for, como Juan, who, as you can tell, doesn't sleep very much right now. We would probably have an assistant to help if we had funds, or WFSE were giving us funds, as others have said. But most of our, well, I should say not most, but all of our money is from all of us. We pitch in what we can do. We send, if Juan's ordering shirts, for example, we'll send him money. We'll do the math and see how much we can get. We can each get together and send it to him, and based on that, decide how many we can buy. I mean, we're not receiving any funds from anybody else, so we've never prepared a sheet to have to show everyone where our funds are coming from and what we're spending them on. Since there are funds, we didn't think it was really necessary to show someone where our money was coming from. But if you want to know, it comes from interpreting money that we've made on our own, that we've worked for, as Juan has said, that we have sacrificed and given away towards our movement. I don't know if anybody else would like to add to that.
And
Yes.
we're not just putting the money out of our pockets. We're also putting our own time. We all make sacrifices. We know that we have to sacrifice family, friends, and all that to get homework done. I would say homework. But we don't ask any other, like, can you help us with money? Because we're not here for that. We're not asking for money, and we're doing everything out of our pockets and putting our own time. We are not getting paid for that because we want to do this.
Exactly.
Yes. With that said, I mean, I guess what my colleagues and I are saying is that, we would appreciate if you do support us. We are not letting you guys know what we do or where all of these funds come from, because we're kind of like, don't take it like as if we're, que nos estamos quejando or anything like that. We just kind of want to be transparent. Like Anastasia said, we want to be very clear, transparent, and we really want to let you know how we're doing this. But we cannot get to the finish line without your support, without you, all of you supporting us in any way possible. And right now, what we need is the cards. That's one way that we would need all your support, and that would really, really just make this whole time and all the efforts like worthwhile. I mean, that's really what I hope, and I hope we've done enough, and that we keep doing enough for you guys and for us ourselves too, because as everybody has said, we are interpreters, and that's how we make our living, and we want to be able to keep it that way. So again, please support us.
Wow, excellent. I want to add one more thing to that. Creativity is priceless. So the team here is loaded with creativity, myself included. Sorry, I'm not, I'm being maybe giving myself a little too much credit here, but we do put our heads together, and we do come up with ingenious ways on how we can capitalize on our efforts. And we have people that are very good at technology. We have people that are excellent, like Juan, in front of the camera, and it's our creativity at the end of the day that puts the whole show together. And if it looks like $1 million, it's because $1 million worth of thought went into it. And a lot of people don't know how we arrived to this level. And it's not a secret, but some people just can't see that.
Yes. And before Anastasio talks to you a little bit more about the cards, because I know he's gonna not just make a pitch, but tell you a little bit more. I want to say something, and this is something that will be addressed later, like I said, in a podcast or another video. We're like 2 more minutes before we completely end this. The program ended at 9, but we're just here interacting with you guys. WFSE thrives when we are divided. Please pay attention to this. WFSE Local 1671, they thrive when we are divided. And so, one thing that they have successfully done is divide us, calling us privileged few, saying that we don't want other interpreters to have access to jobs, and then demonizing agencies. And then there are some still in our community that believe that people like myself, we are self-serving, that we want to fill our pockets with money, that that I sold out the profession. And once again, I'm going to say it. I do not work for LNI. I do not work for WFSE. I have no pull, to pass a law, but we have, as an institution and individually, passed amendments to laws, with all of our efforts. But you still have individuals that they have their agenda. They do not add anything but criticize. You know who they are. They tell you every day that we shouldn't be listened to, that you shouldn't sign our card or whatever. But our testimony, our evidence, the things that we bring to you speak for themselves. Everything that we provide to you at no cost. Yes, I'm gonna say it again, and I'm sorry if some people get offended. At no cost. We do not ask you for a penny like other groups. We do not tell you, give us money to make a bogus lawsuit. We need to become certified as a union to have a fighting chance. You know who are the ones working for you. So when you get a flyer that's going to be going out soon, please sign the card. And when you get the ballot from the official election, please vote for the people that are working for the majority of workers, agencies included, independent interpreters included, okay, as a community of LNI interpreters. Please, I'm going to beg you before Anastasia closes, do not listen to rumors. I was taught growing up, if you have a problem with somebody, call that person and ask him. So if you have a problem with me, my cell phone number is there. My email is there. Let's have some coffee. But let's please stop with the rumors and the nonsense, because this is going forward. And we need people to cooperate, not to denigrate what we're doing. And thank you for helping us so far. Anastasia?
Like I said, you keep raising the bar. Every time I come back, it just gets harder and harder to follow up after you.
No.
Okay. Tit for tat here. No, I completely love what you said there. I think it's 100% truth. And who doesn't like that, right? Well, what can I say? We need your support. We've never asked for a penny from day one. We made it our policy, I guess you could say, even before we even had bylaws. We agreed right here in our board that we were not going to ask for any monetary help, and the reason for that, I think, it's obvious. We're not after your money. We never had plans to use your money improperly, or even being accused of that. And this is why we have accomplished all this off the sweat of our foreheads. So it's all genuine. That's something that has to kind of sink in some of you, that if you do have a good competitive horse here in the race, it's only after what's right for all of us, not just a few. If we're not asking for money or acting like the big unions, it's because the only thing that's our priority is to represent interpreters legally and to advocate for them in the future, so we can better improve their working conditions. That is all. We have been on the other side. We have seen that their methods have not worked. And the proof is that all their members are stuck primarily at home without any work, or the work is very restricted, while LNI interpreters have never stopped working through a pandemic. And whatever happens with the new proclamations or mandates to stay home, or any changes, I will guarantee you that LNI interpreters will continue working as essential workers in our community, and they will be better protected, defended by a union such as ours. After we win this election, with your help, we will definitely be in better shape to prevent labor and industries or anyone else with some hidden reasons to either take away our pay, or as you've seen, they took away our mileage the other day. We can always argue or defend what we still have and try to advocate for that mileage to come back somewhere down the road. But we definitely want to reason with everyone. We want to ask for your support, not because we're in this election, but because we are the better or the best choice between everyone else, with the evidence of what we have achieved thus far. I think that that's what you have to go by what we have offered to you up to this point, and not just the words that we say or anyone else says.
Thank you. Well, that concludes our participation with this live stream. I want to say that please look in the description box on the YouTube video. If you joined using Facebook, on the post, you're going to see instructions on how to download and print, sign the card, and get it back to us. Email it to us or mail it to us. Please support us. And guess what? Your cooperation is not public. Nobody will know if you're afraid of people knowing that you support us. We have the majority of people supporting us anyway. Like we said, we just want to solidify the lead that we have. Thank you so much, girls. You want to say goodbye?
I just want to finish with this, and I wanted to say that a union that is run by employees who are not interpreters will never understand your needs as an interpreter. So basically, in other words, WFSE cannot represent us because they don't understand what we need. Some of them are not interpreters, so just want the interpreters to understand that. And with that, have a good night, everyone, and thank you so much for being here tonight.
Yes, thank you guys. Thank you so much for taking the time and joining us today. We really appreciate it. And again, like Juan and everybody has said, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us on our websites, or any of you that know us personally, ask us any questions. Yeah, thank you. Thank you once again.
Yes, I think a lot of important
Oh,
things.
well, like they've already said.
Go ahead. Sorry, I just jumped in.
Sorry, it's okay. Thank you for joining us tonight, and thank you for all of those that have been supporting us since we started this movement. As my colleagues have already said, we're nearing the end, and we need all the support we can get. So if you guys could go out there with their cards and try to help us with those, that would be awesome. And have a good night, and thank you for joining us.
Yes, and okay, my turn. Yes, stay tuned. We're gonna have some more videos, short videos. I understand this is a longer live stream that you're going to be able to catch on YouTube after, but I'm sure that we're going to be able to prepare more very funny and relevant content really soon regarding let's just say the attempts to incentivize us to maybe go in another direction, I should say. I'll leave you with that. There's been all kind of attempts to incentivize us to go in different directions. And this is why we respond the way we respond on video, so that people get the message right away where we stand.
All righty. Well, thank you guys so much. You have a great night. And as always, God bless. We'll see you in the next one.
Good night.